government's $4.7 million energy bond has begun to receive some positive response from investors few days after listing on the Ghana Stock Exchange. In an interview with Joy Business, President of the Ghana Securities Industry Association, Reginald France, hinted that the capital market is performing well as compared to the same period last year. There is more in the following report. There's been a major response on the capital market following the listing of the energy sector bond on the market. Speaking to journalists after the maiden tertiary schools debate to commemorate this year's Capital Market Week, President of the Ghana Securities Industry Association, Reginald France, disclosed that the effect of the positive performance of the bond is inuring to the benefit of the entire market.
The GSE composite is actually doing better than last year. We hope that it will continue. We have seen on the debt securities significant amount of listings that are on there. Our recent and last one was the ESLA bond that is listed onto the market, and we hope that it will continue and we'll have a better composite for the equities this year.
Is the ESLA bond having a positive response from investors now?
Yes, it did. I think that it significantly had an amount of subscribed to what they take. It's a combination of also pricing that you will actually subscribe to and take. So I think it's been successful.
In all, 5 schools participated in the debate, which is aimed at broadening the knowledge of tertiary students on the issues of the market. Some participating students spoke with Joy Business.
So before then, in academics, I understood the capital market to be the market for long-term securities. But coming here, I realized that there is much more that goes into it, especially with the regulatory aspects. And most of the times, we take it as because we are just dealing with finance and not typically the law. We don't really delve too much in the law. But hey, it's a law that really operates our finance operations in our companies all over. So it has really exposed us to open up to know certain things that we are supposed to know, even knowing the GSI precedent. So basically, this competition has given us to more like a platform for us to educate ourselves and not just rely on our lecturers.
The experience has been amazing. Now I know more about it now, in terms of the functions and also securities listed on the Ghana capital market.
Okay, so how are you going to use this experience to help in whatever you do academically?
I would say I will create a financial blog now to educate others about the functions of the capital market and also securities listed on the capital market. I would say the competition is keen, same points here in University Legon and Ashesi. So I would say competition-wise, yes, yeah.
Joy Business is a major media partner in the event, which is expected to be an annual affair in various tertiary schools in the country. Our Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has been speaking about next year's Eurobond sale and the fact that it would come up with new strategies in raising the funds. So according to the minister, this would ensure that the country gets the most favorable interest rate on the expected 1 billion cedis to be mobilized. Here's George Yafi's report.
The minister in the 2018 budget disclosed that proceeds from the Eurobond auction would be used to finance the budget deficit. Ms. Ofori-Atta tells Joy Business the sovereign bond sale would not be done the usual way.
Certainly we'll be doing some sovereign bond, and it could be a combination of a Euro bond, a samurai bond, a panda bond, or a green financing bond.
But is it prudent for government to go ahead with this fundraising, looking at the country's rising public debt, which has reached 138 billion Ghana cedis as of June this year? That's the question we posed to economist Dr. Robert Osei.
Borrowing from outside, if the interest rate is right, i.e. if your perception or the perceived risk associated with Ghana is right, then that provides a better source of financing the deficit depleted.
Well, for many, it's all about the cost of raising this Eurobond, having in mind that we are planning to pay almost 15 billion Ghana cedis as interest on loans for next year. This is the second biggest spending item in the 2018 budget, apart from wages and salaries. There are also fears that taking on too much dollar loan could put some pressure on the local currency later if measures are not instituted to stabilize the Ghana cedi.
Let's move on now to something really exciting. Black Friday, seeing a massive patronage across various retail centers in the capital who are offering unbelievable discount sales. Now, the annual retail sales event, which traces its origin to Europe and the Americas, is gradually gaining grounds in Ghana, as this year many shoppers are trooping to various shopping centers to take advantage of the sales. Charles Aite has been moving through some retail shops and has come through with this report.
Achimota Retail Center was one big center of attraction as hundreds of shoppers took advantage of the Black Friday, trooped into ShopRite and other shops for the best deals.
The main things that they pick with them, before they enter the shopping mall is the list of discounted sales that has been lined up here. You can find out that Coca-Cola, which, in the past was selling at 11 cedis, 49 pesos, is now going for 9 cedis, 99 pesos, over 10% discount in that very sense. Baltic Water, previously going for 3 cedis 29 pesos, is also now going for 2 cedis 49 pesos.
On Black Friday, shops' prices plummet for 24 hours in an attempt to get people prepared for the Yuletide. Meanwhile, some shoppers expressed disappointment over the limited number of products under sale. They claim last year's Black Friday was more vibrant.
Okay, last year when I came, it was also selected items, but you could pick any quantity. Like milk, for instance, I took like 6 cartons for the year. But this time around, you can only pick 6 pieces. I can't drive all the way from wherever I'm coming from to pick 6 tins of milk.
So you say you haven't been able to save enough this time around shopping here?
At all. I haven't been able to save enough.
However, other shoppers were of the view this year's Black Friday has given them an opportunity to make some good savings.
We are taking advantage of the day Black Friday and doing some small shopping for the family.
What about you?
Yes, we are buying everything here, so if you have something for it, I think you have to bring it.
So how has the feeling been like for you?
Very exciting. How they can reduce just in a day, they can reduce everything. We really prepared because we heard of it like beginning of the week, so we prepared and we wanted to take advantage.
So what exactly did you buy? What exactly?
Mainly drinks and the water.
When you get to the mall, you have to realize that it isn't all the goods and services there that are under discounted sales under the Black Friday whole dealership craze. But one thing you have to really find out is this very tag, the Black Friday deal tag, at whichever stand you visit, at whichever shopping mall. Currently here at a wine stand, you find out that the Black Friday tag is there. If you don't find this, you're likely to find the black and red balloon as has been decorated right here to check out which exactly is the Black Friday stamp. Or you could find this very sticker here. That's a Black Friday sticker. They're selling brandy. You can find brandy displayed lovely here. You find the Black Friday stamp, which helps understand the new one and the old one. So this is the new one, this is the old one. You can find the discounted sales here. So just a little trick for those of you out there who would want to, cash into the Black Friday craze.
But what are the rules when it comes to shopping on Black Friday? Joy Business caught up with the sales manager at Game Retail Center at the Accra Mall.
There are selected items that are attempt to be Black Friday items. So if you walk into the shop, we have leaflets. If you go onto our website, we have advertised items that are appearing on the Black Friday list.
From the hype and high patronage, one may wonder if Black Friday should always be a daily shopping experience. For Joy Business, Charles Aite reporting.
Well, how many more hours till the day closes? You still have a chance to get to that shopping mall and get yourself something. Let's move on now. And with a budget deficit of 6.5% to GDP by close of 2017, some critics of the finance minister have questioned the many tax rebates in the 2018 budget, saying it is counterproductive when it comes to revenue generation. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has, however, counteracted it by theming the budget putting Ghana back to work. This requires that the enabling environment is created for the private sector to work. And this also includes giving tax holidays to entrepreneurs below 36. Here's Odelia Intiama's report.
Taxes are a bit difficult to pay, and for young people starting a business, there are several bottlenecks that have been mentioned as a big deterrent when it comes to doing business in the country. One of them is putting everybody in the same basket when it comes to taxes. Now, young people would like to see that they are a bit separated from the whole big, huge bunch when it comes to taxation, and this was actually answered in the 2018 budget when the finance minister said people below the age of 36 are going to get some tax rebate when it comes to startups. So we're here to be finding out from some young person who started shoemaking business on what this tax really means to his business. At Giddens, everything here is made out of recycled material, including the soles of the shoes, which are made with conveyor belts. Making his business eco-friendly is the priority. Gideon Denza tells the news team paying taxes can be difficult, especially when young entrepreneurs can hardly get by.
Most of the time, because of the high rates of taxes, most of the time we want to dodge taxes, and I think it's going to make us truthful in keeping our books.
So we asked whether he had heard about the tax rebates announced in the 2018 budget.
I think that the interesting thing I found with this budget was the tax holidays or incentives that will be given to young entrepreneurs below the age of 36. And for me, it's one thing that's going to encourage we young guys to set up our own businesses and also be very truthful with our books. Well, I know definitely it's not going to be a full holiday, like we are not going to pay any taxes at all. But what I know is that we are going to get an incentive. So let's say we are going to pay, let's say, 1,000 cedis, it's going to be reduced further below maybe 500. And that would encourage me to do more businesses and encourage other friends to enter into their own businesses.
Tell us a bit. Owner of Bamboo Bicycle Company, Boomers, is worried about the lack of education when it comes to taxes, with a major worry in categorization.
In Ghana, one thing we don't do well is we don't even categorize between what is a small company and what is. We put everything in almost everybody in the same bracket. And this doesn't help with the small businesses because it takes a lot of the business capital away. And normally what the person has to work with is very small. And these businesses don't even get support from the banks. So after taking off a lot of your capital, then you are left with very small to work with.
Ghana Revenue Authority will have more to do as they embark on a tax education to rope in the unreached, which is close to 3 million of the population.
Meanwhile, the Private Enterprise Federation is looking at collaborating with the Ghana Revenue Authority to ensure efficiency of tax compliance. Speaking at a Joy Business conversation on tax and inequality telecast on JoyNews, CEO of PEF, Nana Osebons, noted that such a collaboration can ensure tax compliance and maximize national revenue.
Taxes are on profits, so we know that if we don't make profits, we cannot be taxed. But when we're making small taxes, we think that it should reflect in the tax bite and the rates that we are charged. We should not all be one bite of 20% corporate taxes for everybody who is making $10 versus somebody making $2 million. So we're looking at that angle and say that we are willing and ready to pay our obligations and be in tax compliant as we go forward. But also look at us. How do we create the income stream to do business? Because we cannot be small and not be able to compete at all costs. So look at how do we keep a majority of our income that we generate to be able to grow and create jobs instead of paying a blanket tax as we go. So we're looking at equality in the tax relief, in the sense that the smallholder businesses normally don't get relief at all. The top corporate institutions are the ones that get the tax exemptions, the tax holidays, and everything else. So we think that the tax laws should be amended in a way that we have segmented tier tax system where maybe based upon certain criteria, whether the turnover, or whether the profit margin, whether the sector we're in, we should be paying a minimum of this. And then as we move to the second tier and the third tier and on and on and on. So it's something that we're going to be working on with the GRA and the government to look at how we stagger, we segment tax bite on the small and medium enterprises as we move forward.
We are heading next to the Ashanti region, where some mining communities are advocating local anti-galamsey teams to augment work of the National Task Force. They say their knowledge of the local terrain in affected areas puts them in a better position to flush out people who defy government orders. These are sentiments Love News picked up when Chieftaincy Minister Kofi Jamesi interacted with chiefs of Impasaso in the Ahafo North South District. Nana Sensu Mensah has more.
The ban on illegal and small-scale mining was imposed in March this year for an initial 6 months in an effort to save the environment. The period has since expired and been extended until early next year. The launch of a national task force known as Operation Vanguard has been met with mixed reaction, especially in the mining areas. Complaints have been rife about defiance of the ban by some unscrupulous elements who continue to mine under cover of darkness. Some youth in local communities believe they can play a critical role to support Operation Vanguard. Prince Dabo, who used to engage in galamsey until the ban came into effect, wants government tap into the expertise of people like him. He explains the scattered nature of mining activities makes it difficult for Operation Vanguard cover every ground.
I'm see. Me susu any my drink akran pese me come aba ne ti ase ne say. One fa yan so ni ewo mu a ya tie na asam a ya de machine a ya den egu ho. A ya hwe nhihye papa be den ebeba. Enti yan say nipa no tifie.
All I'm saying is that we should be added to the task force to stop galamsey, because there are some Chinese and Ghanaians still in the bushes doing the galamsey. I have pictures on my phone. So the government should include us and empower us so all these things will stop. We know the president has plans for us.
Galamsey no issue no na buy no there. Asam na minister kan sampa because galamsey no bet ma ko but end of the day me bet ma give me 100 million a day. Before the end of the day, Nisikano Besa, Obi Betma construction work, and our Kodo Pakura and 100,000. 10 cedi no.
What the minister said about galamsey is good news, because in a day you can get over 10,000 Ghana cedis, but the money will be wasted, and you wouldn't know what the money was used for. Somebody comes with just a passport and takes our fortune. We were polluting the water bodies. Now, policies that Nana has brought will help. It shows he really thinks about us.
Meanwhile, Secretary to the Ministerial Committee on Illegal Mining hints of government plans to establish district mining committees. Tas Bisiu said residents will be actively involved in fighting the menace to protect the environment.
To manage issues like this, first of all, you need the structures and you need to break them down into manageable units, and that is what the president has advised or directed that we do. That each district mining in the country should have a mining committee, and also anywhere that we find that potential there's going to be mining, illegal mining, we should have a committee there. So therefore, we are not just sanitizing it, we are actually preventing it as well. So the extension, I do not know when it's going to be, but what I do know that once the president comes out to speak, we're going to use the local structures, and the chiefs will play a pivotal role. Even the composition of the district mining committee that involves chiefs as well.
Nana Sensu Mensah reporting for JoyNews.
You're watching Business Live. We want to bring you our interview of the day now, and the Ghana South Africa Business Chamber has hinted of plans to make use of the tax incentives provided in the 2018 budget to establish more businesses in the country. The Chamber said it will be organizing trade missions for South African businesses to explore the various opportunities provided by the government of Ghana. In an interview with Joy Business, President of the Chamber, Ashley Risks, welcomed the reduction in electricity tariffs and other job creation initiatives mentioned by the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, during the 2018 budget presentation.
Yeah, I think it's very good. I think a lot of the incentives that they put in there is primarily to increase growth, to increase jobs. And if you have a look at all the policies, not just the tax policies, but all the other policies that the new government has been putting in place, it's all there for the primary one reason: to increase jobs and decrease unemployment.
Okay. So do you think you can tap in more from that particular policy of creating jobs?
Yes, no, absolutely. And I think the more companies that you've got coming in, the more foreign direct investment you've got coming in, the more jobs you have. And the government's also targeting certain things like putting out cheaper credit, which will assist companies to grow. So we've seen the MPR, as I mentioned, dropping from 26% to 21%. They're hoping for the next couple of years they're going to keep on reducing that, making credit a lot cheaper for companies in order to increase their borrowing and increase their company as well.
What of the electricity tariff reduction?
Yes, I mean that's going to help tremendously. Previously, the last 4 or 5 years, we've seen tremendous increases in the electricity tariffs in Ghana, really sort of battling, doesn't help sort of manufacturing concerns. So, it's a key component if they want to sort of have, one industry, in the different areas, they definitely will need to decrease the electricity bills.
And that's all tonight on Business Live, but there's plenty more to read on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. And of course, we've got all the bulletins for you just in case you missed out on them. All the videos uploaded over there as well. My name is Daryl Kwal. Thanks so much for watching. We are back next week.